1 Peter 4:12. The fiery ordeals taking place among you. I think it's a fitting text for this week. The fiery ordeals, the difficult situations, because our world has again seen what violence and hatred looks like. And just a few days ago, people going to a concert lost their life because of hatred. And it's sad. We hear that story. We hear about families who lost loved ones. We want to cry with them. We want to be angry with them. We don't know how to respond. But then we also see that there's the same kind of hatred in our community, in our very own town of Southlake. I don't know if you've heard, but last weekend there was a park, Southlake Town Center, Frank Cornish Park, named after the late son-in-law of Beverly and Milton Blake. Frank Cornish, a man who gave a lot to the city of Southlake, a man who was known because he played for the Dallas Cowboys, a man who died far too young, leaving behind young children and a wife. Had a park named in his honor, and there were graffiti on the plaque referring to the Ku Klux Klan, right here in our own town. It's a fiery ordeal, a difficult situation. People of faith come together and say, I thought we had moved past that. I thought we had moved beyond that. I thought we collectively were better. And so now we figure out how we must respond. I thought our world, I thought our community was better than that. But as we pause to celebrate Memorial Day and the heroes who have given their lives for our freedom, we come to the realization, at least I did this week, and it was sobering, that in a perfect world there would be no need for Memorial Day. If this world reflected the love of God, there would be no need for heroes to die for our freedom. But that's not the world we live in. Evil is all around us. The text says the devil is all around us, looking to devour us, looking to turn us from the ways of God, looking to use us for the devil's purposes, for evil's purposes, or at least to make us afraid, too afraid to live the life before us. And so, 1 Peter 5, chapter 9, gives us the answer to how we deal with all this hatred. Be steadfast in your faith. Be steadfast in your faith. Respond with faith. Always respond with faith. When things are good, respond with faith. When things are bad, respond with faith. And when you don't know what's going to happen, respond with faith. So, let's talk about when things are going well. How do you respond with faith when things are going well? 1 Peter 5, chapter 5, verse 6. Humble yourselves. Be humble. Humble yourselves. Last Sunday, our church softball team reorganized to start playing again. It had been a couple years. And we used to be pretty good. And I'm going to say it, I used to be pretty good. But I was playing first base. It was the second inning. Somebody was throwing me the ball, and there was a runner on third. And I reached out to catch the ball, and they said, he's going. I caught the ball, put it in my hand, I'm like, I got him. When the ball is here, I'm like, I got him. When the ball is here, I think to myself, now I remember why I quit softball. When the ball is here, I thought, I need a shot. When it's here, I think, I need surgery. My shoulder hurt for 4 days. I could not sleep on my right side. And I remembered, I did go to the doctor for this. And he said, you need surgery. And I said, I'm not having surgery. I'm not going to miss out on 6 months of picking up my daughter when she's young. And I thought to myself, well, I will be on the team, I will coach from the dugout, but I can't play the field anymore because I can't throw. And we lost by 1 run. We had a nice comeback. But it was interesting leaving the field, remembering the championships we'd won and how humbling it was to walk off the field and lose and be in so much pain that I never wanted to come back. Thinking at one time, I used to be good at this game. Our team used to be good. We used to be great. The thing is, God gives us all gifts, athletic gifts, mental gifts, all kinds of different gifts. And when we live into those gifts, when we work on those gifts, when we make the most of those gifts, we have opportunities in life to do great things. I was out at the Colonial on Friday watching some of the best golfers in the world play golf. And I was struck by the realization that one of these guys is going to have a good week and is going to win $1 million. One of these guys is going to have a good week and win $1 million. And someone out here is going to have a good year and they're probably going to win $10 million. Plus endorsements, all the way up to who knows how many $1 million. It must be hard to stay humble. But then I think, there's some weeks that I have a good week on Sunday morning. I have to tell you, anytime I have a reading from the Gospel of John and I get through it without stumbling over my words, I'm really proud of myself. I don't know if you noticed, but today's reading, it was a bunch of 3-letter words, but it wasn't easy to get through. And after I was done, I was really quite proud of myself because I didn't stumble through it once. The Gospel of John is one of those where you can skip a line and not even realize it because it just doesn't flow very well. But we can all have a good week. Teachers can have a good week. Teachers can have a good month. No matter what we do in life, we can have a good week. We can have a good month and feel really good about ourselves, feel really good about what's going on, and start to think, man, I'm pretty good. Or I'm great. The realization is God has given us each several gifts. And God has created us in certain ways that we have passions. And I hope for you that you will end up living your life on the intersection of something that you are incredibly passionate about and a gift that God has given you. And you love your life. You love what you get to do. And you're good at what you get to do. But at the end of the day, when everything goes well, it's not, wow, look at how great I am. But let me tell you how great God is. This life that I live is a gift. This thing that I get to do that I love is a gift. All that I have good in my life is a gift. We respond to good things with humility. But then there's a time when we aren't sure what's going to happen. 1 Peter 5, verse 7, cast all your anxiety on God. We respond faithfully with trust. We respond faithfully by saying that God is big enough to take all of my anxiety. And I want to take a pause for a minute here. And when the Bible talks about anxiety, the Bible is not talking about anxiety in the clinical sense of the term. And if you are somebody who has anxiety in your life, it does not mean that you are less of a Christian than anyone else. I want to make sure to say that. And so when the Bible talks about anxiety, the Bible talks about just concerns of life, the worries of life, the things that keep you up at night. And I actually heard somebody say yesterday that they had a great concern, that God was a great cause of concern in their life growing up. That they were so worried about God smiting them, God not loving them. He said that his whole life growing up was, God was someone you can't see but need to constantly apologize to. God is not to be thought of as a cause of concern, but as someone who alleviates our concern, who we can give it to. Everything we worry about, give it to God. The story of the ascension, Acts 1, verse 9 from today. This idea that Jesus floated off, I think people hear that and they think, well, Jesus is now absent. He's gone. He's absent. He can't hurt me from where he is. He can't hear me from where he is. But that's not what the ascension is all about. The ascension is that Jesus ascended so that Jesus could sit at the right hand of the Father, so that Jesus could be everywhere, so that all of creation could be filled with the presence of Christ, meaning wherever you go, Christ is with you. Actually, 1 Peter 5:14 says, the Spirit of God is resting on you. I love that image, the idea that God is resting on you. Everywhere you go, God is on you, with you, everywhere you go. And God only wants good things to happen for you and in your life. That God only wants good things to happen for the people who you love. That God only wants good things to happen. God wants goodness to defeat evil all the time. And some of the most important anniversaries and dates that we share as a community and as a country are dates where we collectively have overcome evil with goodness. And that's Memorial Day. We celebrate those who have given their lives overcoming evil because goodness has won. When you look at some of the wars we have fought, especially World War II, some of the other wars where goodness overcame evil, and so we celebrate those days and we honor those people who fought and died for us. But also the story of the resurrection is exactly that. Easter Sunday is exactly that. Goodness overcoming evil. Someone taking our place and winning a giant victory for us, for you. We can trust that God wants goodness to overcome evil. We can trust that God wants life to prevail over death. We can trust that God wants joy to prevail over sorrow all the time. When you're worried, when you're concerned, we respond with trust. But the reality is, sometimes things do go bad. Sometimes someone walks into a nightclub or an arena with a bomb strapped to them, and it happens. And so how do we respond when bad things happen? As faithful people, we respond with hope in God's promises. Our world has a long history of bad things happening. Our world has a long history of people dying at the hands of their enemy. It happened a lot in the Old Testament. And when we read the Psalm today, Psalm 68, verse 5, that God was looked at as a father to orphan and a defender of widows because there were orphans and widows in their community, because the men went off to war and many didn't return. What do you say to that? How do we have a faithful response to that? I think it starts with Acts 1, verse 11. Jesus floats away, and Jesus' followers are looking up. Is he coming back? Is he going to come back down? He said he was coming back, right? How long did he say? How long should we wait? What do we do now? And some men show up and say, this Jesus, who has been taken up to heaven, will come in the same way. He will come. He will return. And that's what we need to hear. He will return and make everything right. There will be a time when there is no longer a need for Memorial Day, for heroes to go and die for us. There will be a time when the world no longer needs to fight, when people no longer need to die. On that day, when he does return, the world will change once and for all. On that day, all of our failures will be forgotten. On that day, all of our achievements, those moments where we thought we were so great, will no longer be important. Because all of us will not need to be saved by a hero among us, because we will already have been saved by the Lord. And actually, we've already been saved by our Lord. And we can live out as people who have been saved right now. And we can be sure to remind the devil next time he comes around that we have already been saved by the Lord, and that the devil's lies are not welcome in our lives or in our community. We respond with faith because the world needs people to respond with faith. Amen.